another quick informational video today. Today we're going to talk about why New Jersey is the most moved out of state in the country. People are leaving this state in huge numbers. In 2018, twice as many people moved out as they moved in. And in 2020, it leads the way for people migrating out of the state. There are many reasons why people do not want to live here. So if you plan on moving here, listen to this video before you decide to make the journey all the way to our great state of New Jersey. Before we get into that, click the like button, hit subscribe, click the notification bell, and you want to be alerted, and share this video to anyone thinking about coming here or anyone that wants to know why people trash talk New Jersey so much. And it ain't because of Jersey Shore or the pollution or the factories or the North Jersey, Newark International Airport area. It ain't none of that. It's many things. Many things have been going on for decades, and the state's on its way into a downward death spiral as we talk about it. So let's just list some of the positive things that we could talk about New Jersey. It's got the Jersey Shore. The whole, east coast of the state pretty much has beaches. And in the summertime, that's the place to be. You got Wildwood, Ocean City, Toms River, Seaside Heights, Belmar, Atlantic City, Sea Isle. I can go on and name all these towns. People love the Jersey Shore. People come from all over, from Pennsylvania, from Delaware, Maryland, New York, Ohio, Toronto, Canada. I've seen it all. Quebec. You see all these people come to the Jersey Shore. It's very touristy, very vacationy, and honestly, it is a great time. And, people that live in these towns don't enjoy it, but you better enjoy it. It's great. We got some mountains. South Jersey, it's very plains, very flat land. Farms. It's the Garden State, best tomatoes, white corn. There's so many good things you can go on and on about. You got city life, rural life. If you want to think that you live in the South and you're a part of the Confederacy and be a redneck, you can. You want to think you're a yuppie from New York City and live in the urban center, you can. You want to be anybody you want. You could pretty much be it here in New Jersey. People are rude to an extent, but it's because they're very busy with their time. The attitude here is work. It's very much a rat race place. Everyone here is in a rat race. Everyone here is pretty much trying to make ends meet for their family. And you got the wealthy, the poor, and everything in between living here. But let's get into why people don't want to live here and why they're leaving. First off, this state ranks 51st in the nation in property taxes, which means it has the highest property taxes in the whole nation, which means you pay a lot of money to the government just to live in your house. Not on top of the rent, well, if you rent, you don't pay property tax. Let's just say mortgage. On top of the mortgage, you gotta pay property taxes involved with that as well. And they're the highest in the nation. Higher than California, higher than New York, higher than any of these places with these outrageous tax rates. New Jersey takes the cake. It is the highest tax state in the country. Not New York, not Illinois, not California. New Jersey is. So that's just one reason. People just can't afford to stay here anymore. They gotta leave. They go to places where they can keep more money in their pocket and not lose a ton of it to the government. That's the next thing. It's the government. The government has been pretty much under one-party rule since before I was born. They make decisions that are good for themselves and not good for thee. And they squander our money. They've squandered the pension system. They've squandered the unemployment insurance fund. They've squandered it all. And it's bad. Very bad stuff. And that's why the taxes every year, they jump up. Because they spend and spend and spend. And they don't care about the average citizen that lives here. On top of that, it's a total nanny state. There's so many laws here. This is the hardest place, in my opinion. If you want to buy a gun, you'll be on hold for like 9 months waiting to hear back from the police station on your permit. Very strict gun laws. And for a place that's kind of skyrocketing with crime in very normal suburban areas, shootings, robberies, carjackings. You would think that they would do more to protect us, but they don't. Another reason why people are leaving. And you got just taxes and taxes just coming out of people's paychecks. And our bridges, our roads are failing. There's a highway that's been, unfinished, but they say it's finished, but it's unfinished. It ends in the middle of nowhere for the past almost 30 years now, 31 years. The highway, Route 55, never been completed, ends in the middle of nowhere. Just stuff like that. Very dumb stuff that inconveniences the people. The government is one-party rule. And here's my favorite part. This is just an example. We'll give you two examples. We'll go first. Casino gambling. In 1976, they legalized casino gambling to raise the profits, to rebuild Atlantic City, because Atlantic City was falling apart and people were leaving. So they promised casinos are going to come in, we're going to rebuild the city, it's going to be great for everybody. You know what happened? Like 20 mayors and plenty of public officials have gone to jail from corruption charges stemming from Atlantic City. They were pocketing the money, they were taking bribes, they were practically just puppets for the Casino Control Commission and the big casino companies. They were just puppets on a string. And they're going to jail. And if you look at one of the last mayors, I forget his name, but he went to jail. The new mayor, Marty Small, he took over. So the last mayor, he's in jail as we speak. And the big thing, it's very current, is weed legalization. Governor Murphy promised on his campaign trail that he was going to legalize weed because it was a social justice problem. And for 2 years, they bickered. He bickered with his own party on trying to get legal weed passed. And he couldn't do it. And they couldn't agree on something. So they put it on the referendum. The whole state's going to vote. Do we want to legalize weed? Yes or no? And then you would figure that if we vote yes, that we would get it. Now we voted yes, and technically we got it as of January 1st, but they still can't agree on the details. So it's still pretty much in the same phase it was in the very first day of the Murphy administration. Really nothing else has pretty much changed at all. That's another thing. Just bad economic policies across the board. It's strangling the state. Businesses are leaving. I think NASDAQ said it was going to leave at one point. That's huge. That's pretty much the biggest thing that could happen. You have these big companies leaving, jobs leaving, and what do you have left? You have government workers with their bloated pension systems and no one to fund it because all the citizens are moving out. The state's going to collapse on itself. And the people that are leaving, they've seen the writing on the wall, coming 25 miles away, and they're out the door like flash. Now, I think I'm going to stay. I don't think I want to leave. This is my home, and I'm not going to be chased out of my home by some greedy, corrupt politicians. And that's the bottom line right there. This is where I live, this is where my family is, and this is the only place I know, and it is the only place I'm going to call home. I've been other places, I've been to other states, and I just love it here. Here, I don't know why. You got the cold, you got the warm, you got everything between. It's a great place to really live and grow up. I grew up here, it was fun. But, for the most part, the state is not affordable. The state is not a state to raise your family in anymore. And the state is a place that's just looking to strangle every last bit of your dollar so they can pay off all the mistakes that they've made under the past 30 years or so. The state's highly corrupt. Look into it. People are leaving. And it's a disgrace. And anyone that's involved with the downfall of this state of New Jersey during an economic boom of the past 5 years, they should be ashamed of themselves. New Jersey is one of the oldest nations in the state. I think it's the third state to ratify the Constitution and become a state. And we're a disgrace. And we're not setting any examples for anybody. We're showing everyone how to be a little California. How to let one party rule dictate 9 million citizens' lives and pretty much hurt them in ways that some of the supporters can't even see. Because every year taxes go up. Gas tax, property tax, it's insane. And things don't get cheaper here. That's just the way it is. That's why people are leaving and going to places like Florida and, you know, Texas and Arizona. Those just seem to be the common places that people from New Jersey move out to. But people are leaving. Like I said, top left state in 2020, highest property taxes in the nation. There's absolutely no reason to live here. It's even hard to find a job right now. So if you like this video, please share it. And try to save someone from making the trek out here. They don't really know what they're getting themselves into. So have a good one, guys.